So Apple just announced a new iPhone today. Technically, it's called the iPhone SE second generation. It's not the first time that we've had an iPhone SE. More accurately, from my perspective, this is actually the iPhone 8 2.0. I was actually kind of worried that they're going to call it the iPhone 9 because that would just get confusing after a while, because next year, what do they call it? The iPhone 10.X? This second generation iPhone SE is basically an updated iPhone 8, but unlike other companies that shortchange you with their budget devices, Apple has included two technologies from my perspective that's going to future-proof this iPhone SE for the next 3 to 4 years, if you get it. So in the next few minutes, I'm going to talk about the price and then go through the differences between the iPhone SE and the 11s, and then give you my initial impressions of the device. And MobileReviewsEh, Monty and I, this puppy and I, base all our review videos on actual usage. We're reviewers, not influencers. We're basically just trying to figure out the best products to buy with their own money so that nobody is wasting their money on bad products. I've been reviewing iOS accessories for at least 8 years now, and with this pandemic and everybody sitting home in isolation, I've committed myself to doing one product review a day. So come back to my channel if you want to be entertained between 12 and noon every single day. But let's get to the iPhone SE, or iPhone 8 2.0. So the new iPhone starts at $399 for the 64GB version, $449 for the 128, and $549 for the 256GB version. Historically, this puts it on the same price scale as the iPhone SE first generation when it came out in 2016. Now, out of the current crop of iPhones, this is definitely the cheapest iPhone by about $300. Now, with the introduction of the iPhone 8 2.0, Apple now has a true budget iPhone, which is something they tried to say when they released the iPhone XR, but in reality, the iPhone XR just cost just as much as all the other iPhones did before, we had OLED screens in all of them. Monty, do you hate marketing fluff? I know I do. So that's the simple details on the price. How about the tech specs? The new iPhone SE is basically the same size as the iPhone 8. So if you think Apple's latest iPhones are just way too big, and I do, the iPhone 11 is just way too thick for my liking, then you're gonna love the new iPhone SE. In fact, the screen is exactly the same as the iPhone 8's minus the 3D touch, which Apple phased out a few years ago. The only difference between the iPhone SE and the Pro iPhones is the OLED screen. And this difference allows the iPhone Pros to play stuff back in HDR. Video anyways, which is so useful on a tiny screen. From a protection standpoint, the iPhone SE is going to be rated to IP67, which means you could leave it in your tub for 30 minutes if you really wanted to. As a side note, you shouldn't do that. The new iPhone SE comes with an A13 Bionic chip, which is the same chip as the new iPhones, and that's impressive. Apple didn't try to shortchange us with an older chip, they used the newer chip. Smart. What's even more impressive is that this A13 chip is needed to power the exact same camera as the iPhone 8 when it was using the A11 chip. No, I kid. The extra power is needed so that the camera can now take portrait photos. You know, that mildly used feature that kind of shows up on all the new iPhones now that allows you to take photos with really blurry backgrounds so that if you do get the iPhone SE, well, your photos now can be Instagram worthy. When it comes to video recording, the only thing the iPhone SE is missing when compared to the iPhone 11s is audio zoom. So if your decision-making paradigm is based on you starting a home cooking show, go with the iPhone 11s, they've got better audio recording. With the FaceTime camera, it's basically the iPhone 8 camera plus blurry photo background mode. This is probably the biggest difference in terms of cameras between the iPhone SE and iPhone 11s, as the true depth laser cameras on the iPhone 11s allow you to record better video at up to 4K and allows you to turn your head into a turd. Now, if this is the first time you're watching one of my videos, I do encourage you to click subscribe. Again, during this pandemic, I'm doing a review video every single day. So this is going to be video number 26. I've got the next month planned out. So if you want to be entertained every single day around noon, check out my channel or click subscribe, click the bell so that, whenever I load a new video, you get notified. And the best part about this channel, you get Monty. When it comes to connections, the new iPhone SE has Bluetooth 5.0, which is great, and even better, it has Wi-Fi 6. Now, this tech isn't being widely used right now. It's starting to come out, but having Apple include the newest standards in terms of wireless connectivity is important in terms of future-proofing the device. This iPhone SE is going to be relevant for the next 2 to 3, 4 years, from my perspective. Now, the battery on the new iPhone SE will last as long as the iPhone 8, and most importantly, the iPhone SE will support ultra-fast 7.5 watt wireless Qi charging. That feature on the iPhones is by far the most useful feature I've ever used. Monty, what do you think about Qi charging? That's right, it blows. Now, if there was a kick to the nuts, the iPhone SE, the new one, does support fast charging, but Apple's only going to include the little dinky 5-watt charger, so what do you expect? It's only $400. And with all things considered, the iPhone SE is going to be a steal of a deal. It's got the newest chip, and it's got the most modern wireless connections, Bluetooth 5.0 and Wi-Fi 6. That's great. The only things that are really missing are those fringe features, you know, the true depth camera and all these other little things that don't really matter, but Apple puts them into the newest iPhone so that we buy them and they can stay relevant in terms of where they are in the market. So at the end of the day, if you've got an older phone like this is my wife's 6, getting the SE, that's a smart deal, especially if all you do is like consume data, consume web stuff, consume information, and occasionally, you know, talk to people with your device. You don't need to go spend $5, $6, $7, $8, $9, $15, $2,200 on an iPhone 11 Pro Max. You just don't need to. The iPhone 8 2.0 is going to be a steal of a deal. I'm pretty impressed with what Apple's done with this device. Am I going to break it? Am I drop this? Probably. Yeah, we'll see. So that's all I got. Questions, comments, what do you guys think? Leave them down there. Again, isolation video series, doing a video a day. It's pretty hectic, but it's been 26 days since I've started this. I'm still keeping on track, so yeah, thanks for watching. Now, if you're trying to figure out why I'm in this room, it's because this is the quietest room in my house. This is actually my kids' room. This is my kids' nursing chair. But you gotta do what you gotta do.